Testing, testing. Welcome to Red Hawk Radio. I am here today. I am Sean Wiesemann here at McKie Field at Hayden Park for an outstanding matchup between the Cincinnati Bearcats and the Miami RedHawks in the second rendition of the Battle of the Victory Bell. The first rendition that was at Cincinnati was a 12-3 loss for the RedHawks. However, Miami hoping to even the series and avenge the woes that happened in their football game earlier this season. A devastating loss for them as well. But we'll go over lineups real quick before we get into the game. Supposed to start here at 3:02. For Cincinnati, they start with Carrington Cross, the DH, Landon Vitterick, Lawden Brooks, Cal Sefcik, Christian Michelle, Tommy O'Connor, Charlie Niehaus, Corey Klickenbeck, and Donovan Ford, with Ty Barnett the starting pitcher. For the RedHawks defensively, actually we'll step aside here for just a second. We have the national anthem. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. I'm Sean Wiesemann. Sorry for that brief interruption. We can get back into the lineups. Miami's defensively, Dylan Baker at shortstop, Evan Applewick at first base, Anthony Zarlingo center field, David Novak catcher, Dominic Krubinski third base, Ryan Novak left field, Tommy Harrison right field, and Blake Buzzio is the second baseman. And on the hill today for the RedHawks is the right-hander Troy Benko, a 7.46 ERA for the junior, who is 3-0, started 6 games, appeared in 7 and 25 1/3 innings, given up 21 earned runs, struck out 20, walking 7, allowing batters to hit a .291 with 1 wild pitch and 3 hit pitches as well. Well, like I said, this should certainly be an interesting matchup. I imagine a little more competitive, I certainly think, than last matchup versus for the RedHawks versus the Bearcats, as that last matchup certainly went awry pretty quickly. A 4-run third inning quickly got them off to the wrong start, and it was just all downhill from there. RedHawks, certainly more of a offensive team this year, gotten off to a very hot start as of late, as they have won their last 3, despite a non-conference loss to Butler. They have won 5 of their last 7, with another conference sweep as well of Northern Illinois. They are 10-2 in the MAC, currently tops, with no other team having more than 8 wins. So certainly a very competitive Miami RedHawks squad this year. One projected to be 3rd in the conference in the preseason poll. And then for Cincinnati, this was a team projected to be about 7th or 8th, depending on the poll. In the Big 12, with the Bearcats currently sitting at 16-11, 4-5 in the Big 12. They actually started out at one point ranked at the beginning of the season after scoring a series win at number 11 Duke before, having a couple of tough results, including a 3-1 series loss at UC San Diego and splitting a series at UNLV. But they were able to score a huge series sweep over Central Florida at home in a big win, a 12-2 win over number 18 Louisville in a non-conference game in the Battle of the Kegs. So certainly both teams look to be very hot, as the first batter for today is the DH, the right-hander Carrington Cross for the Cincinnati Bearcats, as we get underway. As Benko rocks and fires, and that is a first pitch ball, they're going to say, just a little inside, or strike rather. Wasn't a very certain call from our umpire for today. Spanko deals, and Cross watches that one drop in there for a strike. Nice off-speed pitch from Banco. Cross, one of the stars for this Bearcat squad, honorable All Big 12 last season, as his Banco's pitch gets high and away for a 1-2 count. 91 on that pitch. Banco certainly can sit in the low 90s if he needs to, really bump it up there. It's been control and getting behind in counts, says Larry Scully, is the reason that he's had a little bit less success. And it hits Carrington Cross on the left elbow as he takes a mad Pete Rose-esque sprint to first. That means there's one on now with nobody out. Like I said, Banco, 7.46 ERA. Previously pitched for Mesa Community College, made 8 starts and 16 appearances for Mesa Community College. As looks like there's an issue for David Novak with his pitch comm. Stepping aside here with Landon Viderick, the right fielder, up to bat next. It's the junior, is hitting .337 this season with 6 home runs, 26 RBIs, and an OPS of over 1,000, but it's not going to be his power, although he does have some power that you're going to need to worry about. It is his speed. He is 19 of 20 on the base pass. Carrington Cross 6 of 8 on the base pass as well, as Banco takes a glance over before firing a first pitch strike on the outside part of the plate. Landon Viderick, a left-handed batter, but throws right-handed. A real asset against the right-hander, Banco. As he fires, it's an off-speed pitch outside the plate to even the count rather at 1-1. A quick throw over to first base, but not a real competitive throw, as Cross easily able to get back to the bag, and still a 1-1 count here. On a really nice day for baseball here at McKie Field at Hayden Park. It's certainly in the sun at least. Not something you can complain about one bit, as that's a pitch a little outside. Viderick not going to bite. Makes the count 2-1 for the Bearcats. Banco deals, another off-speed pitch. This one slices a piece of the corner. Able to get a called strike there on Viderick to make the count 2-2 now. A really nice breaking pitch. Now Banco hoping to secure his first out of the game. He sees Cross and then looks and fires and gets the strikeout. Wonderful pitch, shoulder high, but Viderick able to just kind of swing through it. Didn't really have a prayer at that one, and that puts one down, one on first, and that brings up hitting third, Lawton Brooks, the second baseman, the right-handed hitting senior from Banco fires, showed bunt from Brooks there. Brooks, the senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, previously played at local McNicholas High School, also played at Texas Tech. As he shows bunt, that's a beautiful bunt down the third base line, but an easy play to third base. Dominic Krupinski makes the play, fields it, and that is a sacrifice bunt, advances the runner to second. But Brooks goes down. Now 2 outs. Now up for the Bearcats is Cal Sefcik. Sefcik, a utility man, playing left field today. Sophomore hitting .333, started 22 games this season for the Bearcats. The right-hander from Palos Heights, Illinois. Banco Tosses that one in the dirt, almost hit Sefcik in the feet in the right-handed batter's box. Banco not really paying much attention to Cross over there at second, with the infielders all playing behind the bags. He fires, that's a strike. Count is now 1-1 for Sefcik. Sefcik, pretty highly touted guy coming out of high school. Went to Indiana before coming to UC. He's ranked number 370th overall in his class of 2023. As Banco draws a pop-up, that is hit to the second baseman Novak. Or rather, that is the shortstop, Dylan Baker, who makes the catch and ends the inning. Well, a little uneven at first with a hit-by-pitch against Carrington Cross, but Troy Banco able to make quick work of the next three as it is still 0-0, top of the first. As we head down to the bottom of the first, thank you so much for listening to Red Hawk Radio. I'm Sean Wiesemann. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. I am Sean Wiesemann here at McKie Field at Hayden Park for a great day of baseball versus the Miami RedHawks playing the Cincinnati Bearcats in the Battle of the Victory Bell Baseball Edition. The first game here at McKie Field at Hayden Park is we have a first pitch strike taken for the shortstop, Dylan Baker, and the pitcher for today is the left-hander, Ty Barnett, a freshman with a 6.14 ERA, just his second start, the 1-2 record, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks as he spikes that one in the dirt to even the count at 1 apiece. Well, Barnett, a very quick worker as he rocks and deals, and that is a ball going to be a little high. Makes count 2-1 for Baker, who has been Mr. Consistent for the RedHawks over the last few years, a 3-year starter. Certainly is a mainstay in the lineup, as that's a strike that catches the inside of the corner of the plate. Baker not too thrilled about that call, and I can certainly see why. Evens the count at 2 apiece for the senior, as he goes down swinging. A wonderful fastball, a little down and away from Barnett, able to put Baker away swinging, and that brings up the ever-consistent Ty Batisic, the left-handed DH today, hitting .353. He was actually just named MAC Player of the Week for his efforts in absolutely dominating performance earlier in the weekend series. As he takes a first pitch that kind of dies towards the end, a 75-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch to make the count 1-0. Ooh, and a pitch that looked to be a tad off the plate, but nevertheless called a strike, evens the count at 1-1. Batisic also not too thrilled with that one, stepped out for a second, did not like the look of that. Steps back into the box, and as that is a foul ball hit over to the the third base side, but that will be well out of play. Now quickly puts Batisic in a hole now, 2-1. Batisic watches that ball get absolutely spiked. I mean, that was spiked about 3 feet in front of home plate, but that's about as easy of a pitch as you'll ever have as far as which ones to take. Makes the count even now, 2-2. And senior from Joliet, Illinois, who also played at Western Kentucky, has been on an absolute tear this year as he fouls that one off. Ground ball third base side, but keeps Batisic alive. But yeah, like I said, he's been on an absolute tear. I mean, this was a great get for the RedHawks and their head coach, Brian Smiley, in his second year. As that is going to be a hit by pitch rather, as Batisic took a real hard one, 89 off the shoulder. As he's going to make a real slow trot down to first base. Looks like he'll be okay, but that puts a runner aboard with one out against the freshman Ty Barnett, who you certainly hope can maybe rattle him against a pretty veteran lineup. Something you'll have to note with this lineup, the first 5 batters, 4 seniors and a junior. So certainly a ton of experience, and that puts, like I said, Ty Batisic on board, who not really a stolen base threat, actually hasn't even attempted a stolen base this year, but certainly potential for RBIs as the masher Evan Applewick takes a first pitch strike right down the middle. Applewick top 3 in home runs in in college baseball with 13, 41 RBIs. The transfer from Indiana, another Indiana transfer here in this game, has been nothing short of terrific for the RedHawks this season as he pops that one straight in the air. Catcher Corey Klingenbach, or rather the third baseman Christian Michel, catches that one right near the third baseline, and that will be 2 away for the RedHawks. So now that brings up the center fielder, Anthony Zarlingo. The senior has been nothing short of brilliant as far as being a contact hitter. He's hitting .407 this year, only a couple home runs, 18 RBIs, but his OPS almost over 1,100. And like I said, the senior from Olive Branch, Mississippi, has made a massive impact in the middle of this order after being a guy that kind of fell by the wayside as far as being in the lineup for the down the stretch last season as he takes that first pitch for a strike. Zarlingo certainly looking like a different player than he did last season, though. I'm sure Brian Smiley is very happy to see that. That's the second pitch taken a little low and away to make the count 1-1 for Zarlingo. As for the pitcher Barnett, like I said, he likes to move very quickly, frequently pitching with no more than 10 seconds left. Given that there is a runner on base, he looks at Batisic before winding and dealing. That ball is low and inside for a 2-1 count now for Zarlingo. Zarlingo, the only real stolen base threat on this Miami roster, is 6 for 6. The stolen base actually set a record at Southwest Mississippi Community College for most stolen bases in a career. As he drives that one into center field, but it will be caught by the center fielder, Donovan Ford, and that will retire the side. Well, promising start to the innings quickly ends as Zarlingo pops out and Applewick fouls out. So that will make it 0-0 at the end of the first inning. We appreciate you listening to Red Hawk Radio here at McKie Field at Hayden Park. I'm Sean Wiesemann, and we'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. I'm Sean Wiesemann here at McKie Field at Hayden Park. As we have a new pitcher here for the Bearcats, it is Michael Conti, the flamethrower from the local area, Walnut Hills to be exact. As Michael Conti looks to face against the left-handed hitting Anthony Zarlingo, who hits a chopper up the middle. Great play over by the shortstop, who just barely able to make it. That's Charlie Niehaus. A really great job ranging over to almost the second base side on that one. So that means one down now for the RedHawks as the senior David Novak comes to the plate, the 5-hole hitter.
The catcher, number 29, David
Novak, the walk today in his only plate appearance. Has 7 home runs this season as he hits that first pitch foul. 7 home runs, 28 RBIs, and OPS of about 1,000. Has 23 runs this season as well, 4 doubles. He's been a very prolific guy in the middle of the order for the RedHawks, certainly. As Conti fires that one in there for a ball. Dorsey Hager did not like that one. Now Novak readjusts himself. Conti with a bit of a funky windup deals and certainly had Novak kind of just scrambling on that one, as that is a foul tip over to the first base side, but out of play. Now that's a base hit over the head of Christian Michelle into the left field gap. Novak going for 2. He will get to 2 with a stand-up double. Wonderful piece of hitting by Novak. Really looked like he was getting thrown off by Michael Conti's windup a little bit. Or the changes of speed. Conti's certainly a very hard thrower, but able to make do. Conti just a 2.08 ERA this season, so certainly a very impressive piece of hitting. And now that brings up the third baseman, Dominic Krupinski. This presents another lefty on righty matchup. Actually, the next 3 hitters will all be lefties for the right-hander Michael Conti, who certainly has his hands full a little bit now as he throws that first pitch down into the brown turf. Almost said the dirt. We have beautiful brown turf here at McKie Field at Hayden Park if you have not yet visited. That makes the count 1-0. Now Conti looks over a second. Nobody holding on Novak, as that is a pop-up hit over to the left base side. Michelle looking to try to grab it, but that is going to be into the bullpen, actually just past the bullpen, and will be foul. Even the count at 1-1 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Now Krupinski gets set. Conti working from the stretch. Fires. Little outside. 2-1 is the count. Like I said, Conti can really put it up there. An effortless 92, 93 is where he sits. Feels like he could probably put more out there if he needed to. As that is a foul tip. Hits home plate umpire Dorsey Hager as well as the catcher Corey Kligenbeck. Both of whom appear to be okay, but that makes the count 2-2 for Krupinski. Something you'll notice about this RedHawks squad is plenty of players from not in Ohio. That is a pitch taken outside for a ball, and that makes the count full. But like I said, you look down, up and down this lineup, there's actually not a single player in this lineup from the state of Ohio. Krupinski rather. Barrels that over to Loudon Brooks over at second base, who makes the easy play. Advances the runner, David Novak, over to third base, but that adds another out to the tally. So that makes 2 outs now for the RedHawks, as that puts up the sophomore from Canton, Georgia, Ryan Novak, up to potentially knock in his unrelated lineup mate, David Novak, home. Certainly the hope, at least, for the left fielder, who's hitting very well this season, but is 0 for 1 today with a flyout. Hitting .316 this season as he takes that first pitch in for a strike. Like I said, second of the 3 left-handed hitters certainly doesn't bode well. That is a really weakly hit ball hit to Christian Michel, who had to scoop it up barehanded but unable to make the play, and so that will be an infield hit for Ryan Novak. And that will drive the runner in and make the score rather 2-0. Just an attempt at kind of a do or die from Christian Michel, the third baseman, because it was just so weakly hit, he couldn't really do anything else, and as a result, kind of bobbled it because he tried to barehand it and just could not get a clean grip on the ball, and now it is 2-0 RedHawks. These RedHawks have really come out to play so far, certainly looking like a much different team than the team that lost 12-3 earlier this season to the Bearcats, as that brings up to the plate Tommy Harrison, the last of the 3 lefties in this stretch of the lineup. Junior from Cleveland. So I guess I lied. There is one player from Ohio, although Harrison usually isn't in the lineup. Just his 11th start as he takes that pitch for a ball. Makes the count 1-1. The junior hitting just .167 in 48 plate appearances, has home run, 9 RBIs with an OPS of about .509 as he hits that one over to the third base side, way past the J. Hayden Baseball Center. Makes the count 1-2. Harrison also 0 for 1 today. Runner on first base. It's Ryan Novak. Conti fires, and that is a weakly hit ball right to Tommy O'Connor, and that will end the inning as he touches first. So 1 run tacked on after a weakly hit ball by Ryan Novak, Krupinski rather, able to drive in a run, but ultimately ending the inning with a Tommy Harrison weakly hit ball to the first baseman. Well, we appreciate you listening to Red Hawk Radio. This is baseball between Miami RedHawks and the Cincinnati Bearcats here at McKie Field at Hayden Park. We will be back in just a minute. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio with a same pitcher but a new batter. Charlie Deeruff up against the catcher Corey Klingenbeck, who in his one at-bat has a hit. Styra throws that first pitch into the brown turf for a ball. Klingenbeck, a really strong defensive game today for Cincinnati. Styra fires that one, and Klingenbeck hits that right back into the net for a foul ball. Makes the count 1-1. Klingenbeck, also a Cincinnati native, went to Elder. Started 11 games this season. As he hits that chopper to the shortstop, Dylan Baker, who makes the easy play over on the right side of the field. He really shifted over for Klingenbeck, knowing his tendencies there, but makes it one out here for the Bearcats. Now up to plate is Christian Michel, who takes that ball inside for a ball. 93-mile-an-hour pitch on that one. That was a pitch fouled off. Makes the count 1-1 for Michel. Or I'm sorry, that is not Michel. That is Donovan Ford, who takes that pitch in the dirt. 2-1. Donovan Ford a walk today, all he has, but strong hitter for a 9-hole hitter, certainly, as he almost swings, and he says he did. The first plate umpire, it was appealed by the catcher, David Novak, who the first plate umpire, David Blanchett, said yes, he did in fact go. So instead of it being 3-1, it is 2-2 for Ford. Ford started 24 games for the Bearcats as he takes that pitch down and away, and that makes the count full now, 3-2. Ford just 11 RBIs, and 88 plate appearances with 15 runs and 5 extra base hits. As he fouls that one off right into the Miami dugout. And that is a strike 3. A wonderful pitch there from Dyref, who's able to get the strikeout there. And so now with 2 outs, this looks to be a pitcher's duel here in Oxford, Ohio. So that brings up the leadoff hitter, Carrington Cross, who is 0 for 1 today with a walk. Cross takes that first pitch for a ball. Cross fouls that one back. Really wanted a piece of that, really liked that pitch. 92-mile-an-hour fastball makes the count 1-1. Brian Smiley encouraging his outfielders to play closer to the center. Chance for Dyref to get out of this inning. He rocks and fires and throws that pitch into the turf for a ball. Makes it 2-1.
Dyref sees the pitch. Cross with his bat at his head height, and that is a well-hit ball to left field, although it looks like the left fielder, Ryan Novak, is going to catch it, and he does, to retire the side. Well, a really wonderful pitching job from Charlie Dyref, who's only allowed 2 hits, has 3 strikeouts, and has done an outstanding job limiting this usually potent Cincinnati offense. Well, we will be back here at Red Hawk Radio. We really appreciate you taking your time and listening to us here at McKie Field at Hayden Park. Thank you for listening. This is Miami Baseball here on Red Hawk Radio. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. We had a little bit of a technical mishap there, but we are back and better than ever. Currently 2 outs with the Red Hawks batting. Ty Batisic up to the plate. 2 strikeouts is what we had going on. Batisic currently sitting in a 1-1 count. As he swings and misses against the pitcher, Carson Marsh is the new pitcher. Marsh, a 5'10", 178-pound right-hander from also Archbishop Moeller, who had a perfect ERA his senior year in a state championship year. As he throws that one all the way into the siding. Evens the count at 2 apiece for Batisic. Batisic hits that one foul. Over to the left side. Count still 2-2 for Carson Marsh and Ty Batisic. Marsh the right-hander, Batisic the lefty. As Batisic hits that one over to the third baseman. Was able to cleanly make that play and end the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for the RedHawks, but regardless, still a 2-0 lead for Miami, and so that makes it 2-0 RedHawks against a stout Cincinnati Bearcats team, certainly looking to potentially pull off a big upset. We will be back here in just a minute here on Red Hawk Radio. I am Sean Wiesemann. Thank you so much for listening. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. We have a new pitcher here. It is Austin Berggren against the 2-hole hitter Landon Viterick. Berggren pitched a good amount for the Red Hawks, giving up 25 hits in 14 1/3 innings, 21 strikeouts, and a 15-7 ERA as he works out quickly to a 1-1 count, throws 93 on that pitch. Speed certainly isn't the issue, velocity not the problem. Got a lot of control issues, though, for the right-hander as he gets a big swing and a miss from Viterick, who goes down 1-2, 95 on that one. Goodness gracious. Now really taking his time. Berggren fires, little high. Berggren a whip of a 2.30, meaning he's giving about 2 walks and hits per innings pitch as he gets that pitch in there for a strike, and that is strike 3 for Landon Vitterick, and that is a great pitch. Just kind of clipped the outside corner. A wonderful start for Austin Berggren, who been a bit of a mix of a starter and a reliever for the RedHawks. 9 games pitched, 4 starts for them. And that brings up the batter, Lawton Brooks, who's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Brooks hitting 200 on the season, 8 RBIs, no home runs as he takes that first pitch for a strike. And you certainly got to imagine Berggren's got to be one of the hardest throwing guys on the team as he fires that one. And it's an effortless 94 that he's sitting as he throws one, and now he's up to 1-1. A lot harder to teach that kind of velocity, certainly, as he winds and fires. And that is a foul pitch, hit over to the first base side rather, by Brooks. Berggren fires and swing and a miss. 2 big strikeouts for Austin Berggren, and with 2 outs now, it looks like the potential for a shutout just keeps getting closer and closer for Miami, especially against a team that they gave up 12 to earlier this season. That would be a very impressive turnaround for this RedHawks squad. However, still work to do. Berggren up against Cal Stefik, who looks at that first pitch for a ball. Berggren fires that one into the turf, makes the count 2-0. Berggren, previously from Johnson County Community College, from Olathe, Kansas. Fires that one outside, 3-0. After 2 really nice strikeouts, quickly getting away from Berggren here against Cal Stefik. He's one of the better drawers of walks on this team. In fact, 3rd on the roster in walks with 18. 1 for 2 today as he takes that pitch for a first strike of the at-bat. Fires that one in as well. Stefik didn't like that one, but regardless, it was definitely a strike, and that makes the count full now, 3-2. After falling behind 3-0, Berggren has a chance to put this inning away. The wind and the fire, and a dribbler hit over to Blake Buzzio at second base, and that won the inning. A 1-2-3, top of the 6th inning for Austin Berggren, and against these UC Bearcats, who are so potent offensively, a really impressive job from this pitching staff to limit the offensive potential here for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Well, we really appreciate you listening to Red Hawk Radio. We'll be back here in just a minute. Thank you so much for listening. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. We have Carson Marsh, who quickly fires that first pitch into the net. Just a little off the mark at 94, though. Up against Evan Applewick, who's been a little quiet today. 0 for 2 so far, but potent hitter, 13 home runs, 39 runs, 41 RBIs. He takes that pitch for a strike. Count is now even 1-1. Marsh can throw it just as hard as Berggren can, as he throws that one for an off-speed pitch strike. As Marsh fires, and that is a chopper hit right to Christian Michel at third base, and that will be the first out of the inning for the RedHawks. So Anthony Zarlingo up to the plate, 0 for 2 today. For the first time in 14 games, his average falls below 400, 2 on the season, as he's currently hitting 398. Regardless, though, very prolific contact hitter as the lefty looks to raise that average back up as he takes a first pitch ball. Zarlingo looks at that pitch. That's a strike. Right down the middle, 93 on that one. And Zarlingo takes a step out of the box, readjusts his batting gloves, and now gets himself set against the right-handed Marsh. Marsh, a 5.14 ERA pitcher as he throws that one outside to make the count 2-1. 16 strikeouts in 14 innings pitched. Throws that one inside for a 3-1 count. Marsh not the most physically imposing presence on the mound, but for a guy who's 5'10", generates an incredible amount of velocity. 5'10", 178, and that is a walk for Anthony Zarlingo. Zarlingo already has the most walks on the team, and he adds to that total, bringing it up to 29. So that brings the meat of the order up now. Novak, Krupinski, and Novak again. Up here with 1 out, hoping to tack on some insurance runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Zarlingo, the biggest stolen base threat on the roster, 6 stolen bases in 6 attempts. Marsh going to keep an eye on him, and right on cue, Zarlingo attempts to steal, but it's a swing, and it looks like it's going to be a foul ball for strike 1 from the hitter, David Novak. Novak, a good game today, a walk and a hit, 1 for 1. Wide stance for Novak. Marsh going to be very careful as Zarlingo does not go this time, as that one is hit right up the middle, right past the outstretched arms of Lawton Brooks. Zarlingo going first to third. A throw from the center fielder is in time. Really great throw from Donovan Ford on kind of a one-hopper just past the outstretched arms of the second baseman Lawton Brooks, but really great hustle from Zarlingo, but it didn't look like he had a great beat on the ball. Didn't really take a step until that ball was past the pitcher's mound, as it was hit right up the middle. But looks like Coach Jordan Bichelle and his staff look like maybe they're going to have a quick timeout, maybe pitching change here. And yes, it will be a pitching change. So we will step out here with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. You are listening to Miami Baseball here on Red Hawk Radio. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio here. 2 outs. Our new pitcher is the right-hander Rodney Schultz, who's done a lot of work for the Bearcats this season, and against Dominic Krupinski, who takes a big cut for a swing and a miss. 2 outs here. 0-1 is the count. 95 on that fastball for Rodney Schultz, and Schultz is certainly a much more imposing frame on the mound, you got to imagine. Schultz 6'1", 210, as Krupinski looks that pitch down in for a strike. Count now 0-2. The man on first. It's David Novak on first. That is a ball from Schultz, who very polished guy they got out of the portal. 8 games pitched, 1 game started. 5.03 ERA, was actually named first team All-PSAC West. Played at Pitt Johnstown, which is a Division II university, as Krupinski pieces that one over the third base foul side. Count still 1-2. Not the only Pitt Johnstown transfer on this roster. There actually is another one as well, but certainly one of the most reliable if they're with 19 2/3 innings. Krupinski hits that down the third baseline. Christian Michel having to throw way off his back foot, and that is a safe. Michel didn't really have a shot at it, as he didn't really have enough time to get set, so kind of tried to lollipop it almost over to first base, but Krupinski with enough athleticism and enough speed to make it happen. And so now men on first and second here with 2 outs, and Rodney Schultz hoping to get himself out of a jam. The RedHawks hoping to add on to their 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th, as Ryan Novak comes to the plate and watches that first pitch skip into the turf for a ball. That ball is hit right to the shortstop, Charlie Niehaus, who touches second, and that will end the inning. Well, a little bit of a threat there for a second, but ultimately Rodney Schultz able to put away the inning, and so we go down to the top of the 7th here in McKie Field at Hayden Park with the score 2-0 RedHawks. We will be back here at Red Hawk Radio in just a minute. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. It is Austin Berggren back out there for the RedHawks, as he throws that first pitch high for a ball, facing against the third baseman, Christian Michel, who is 1 for 2 today. I think 276 this season. Bergeron fires that one in for a ball. Another high fastball for Bergeron, and he's quickly behind 3-0. Michelle last year, second team All Big 12, was actually named to the two-way Player of the Year award midseason watch list as he watches that one go for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to start the inning for Austin Bergeron after a pretty dominant first.
Number 44, Tommy.
It appears as though Bergeron's going to have a quick chat here with pitching coach Larry Scully. He was just trying to discern what was going on there. Not sure if that means it'll be pitching change. Does not look like it'll be a pitching change, but regardless, we'll step away here for just a second here on Red Hawk Radio. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. We have a new pitcher in, wasn't sure if that would be the case, but we do in fact have a new one. It is Hayden Cuthbertson, the left-hander, 18 and a third innings. Pitch 6.87 ERA, as that is a first pitch hit foul over to the third base side. Man on first base, that is Christian Michel. With Tommy O'Connor up to bat, and that is a wild pitch that just gets away from Novak. So Michel easily advances up to second. Count is now 1-1, and Cuthbertson's pitched a decent amount in 18 and a third innings. Started 5 games for the Red Hawks, 23 strikeouts, 9 walks, and hitting about 280 our batters against Cuthbertson. Actually one of the handful of folks from Canada on this roster. British Columbia. Cuthbertson throws that one outside. Count is now 2-1 for the RedHawks, or for the Bearcats rather. Tommy O'Connor up to bat, hitting .228 on the season, 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. As he throws that one, Cuthbertson that is, throws that one low, and that is 3-1 for the RedHawks, for the Bearcats, excuse me. All three players playing in the right side of the infield. That's a oh, they're going to call that a ball just barely outside. And so that is a quick walk for Hayden Cuthbertson to Tommy O'Connor. So that now puts runners on first and second here with no outs. Now a quick conference here with head coach Jordan Bichelle. Some base running situational stuff here, presumably. Well, Cuthbertson, like I said, really struggling so far. Wild pitch and a walk. Certainly has a chance to get out of this, but the leading runner is at the plate in Charlie Niehaus. Everybody gets back to their bases. Niehaus steps into the batter's box, a right-hander against the left-hander Hayden Cuthbertson, and things get right back underway. You see only 3 hits today. Cuthbertson tries to get a throw over to second base, but not the most wholehearted attempt in doing so. Cuthbertson sees his pitch, rocks, fires, and it's going to be a ball almost skipped off the turf and almost hit Charlie Niehaus. And it was supposed to be a bunt, a sac bunt, but everybody got back to their bases, and the count is 1-0, and Larry Scully's not having it. He's going to have a quick conference here, presumably, with his guy, and he's not liking what he's seeing from Cuthbertson so far. It's certainly not a matter of velocity, as it is the case with a lot of these RedHawks pitchers, but the control is certainly not happening today so far for Cuthbertson. Cuthbertson previously played at Three Rivers College, had 5 saves for Three Rivers, and actually had a 3.38 ERA. Looks like they're going to make another call to the bullpen here. So we will step aside here for just a minute and allow the new RedHawk to warm up, and then we'll give you the scoop on who it is with the score 2-0 RedHawks here on RedHawk Radio. We'll be back here in just a minute. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio with a new pitcher. It is Landon Falk, who has been one of the best Red Hawks pitchers this year, but it is a first pitch bunt as Niehaus lays down the bunt, gets the runners over to second and third, but able to secure the out. So one out here, men on second and third for a real high leverage situation for the right-hander Falk. From Platte City, Missouri, went to Johnson County Community College, and went to back-to-back JUCO World Series with Johnson County, rather. But on the season, he's been out terrific. Second best ERA on the team, 3.75 ERA. In 10 appearances, 12 innings pitched. Certainly been the reliever that they've looked to, along with Carson Byers. So that's a first pitch in the dirt for a ball. Falk from the stretch. Fires. Little inside. Count is now 2-0. RedHawks once again positioned very heavily shading to right field. The second baseman, Blake Buzzio, is playing shallow right field right now. The shortstop, Dylan Baker, is to the right of second base right now, just to give you an indication of just how hard they're squeezing against Corey Kligenbeck, the catcher, who now is up 3-0. Falk just hoping to get back on the board here. The strike as he fires, and that is a ball four. So real crunch time here for Landon Falk is there's now runners aboard everywhere. And Donovan Ford, the 9-hole hitter, up to the plate. And that certainly wasn't the matchup you're looking for, because if you don't get Ford here, you now have 1, 2, and 3 in the lineup as the lineup turns over. You're really hoping to get 8 and 9 out. Regardless, still a chance here for Falk to get out of this unscathed with 1 out, and men on first, second, and third. And that is a first pitch strike fired in there. A really nice off speed. Ford over 1 today with a strike, hitting .247 this year, has 11 RBIs. As that is another strike in there, and Falk quickly ahead 0-2 against the 9-hole hitter Donovan Ford, and you gotta certainly feel a lot more confident if you're a Red Hawk fan, if you can get that out here. Winds and fires, and that is just a ball. The entire Red Hawk contingent thought it was a strike, but home plate Dorsey Hager thought so otherwise. A couple fans shouting at Hager. It was a close pitch. The count 1-2 with 1 out. Falk has an opportunity to still get the out here, as that is strike 3. Ford goes down swinging, and with 2 outs, a chance for Landon Falk to come out of here completely unscathed. Brings up now potential matchup of the game here. Carrington Cross, the .438 hitter with 16 RBIs, versus the second best by ERA pitcher on this Red Hawks roster, as Falk gets into almost a bit of a squat as he looks at the pitch before winding and firing, as Cross takes that first pitch for a ball. Little low. A lot of words here from the home crowd. Regardless, Falk will look at his pitch and fire. As Cross belts that one deep into left field, and that's going to be a home run. I'm not sure that was a home run, but they're going to call it a home run as of right now. Head coach Smiley is beside himself. He thinks that was surely a foul ball, and I think everyone here would tend to agree, but Dorsey Hager certainly thought otherwise. So it is currently 4-2, although I wonder if there will be a review of some sort or a discussion. It appears as though there will be discussion. That is a massive home run if it stands. That gives a 4-2 lead to the Bearcats, and it does look like the umpires will have a discussion about a potential review or changing of the call of some sort. I'm not so sure, but if that was a fair ball, that was right down the left field 332 line. And it looks like they will go to the monitor. So we will step aside for just a second here as the fate of the game potentially hangs in the balance here. With a lot of nervous energy here in the crowd. We'll be right back. Well, a massive call there as they did not have enough to overturn, so they did rule it a home run still. So a massive, absolutely earth-shattering home run from Carrington Cross, a grand slam to, with 2 outs, put the Bearcats up 4-2. Certainly not a lot of the home crowd agree with that decision, but nevertheless just doesn't look like there was enough to overturn it. So Landon Falk goes back out there with a first pitch strike, hoping to end the inning and potentially give still some life to this RedHawks squad as he throws that one a little outside. Landon Vitterick up to bat. 2 strikeouts today, 3 plate appearances. No hits so far. He's hitting pretty well. 326 though. 26 RBIs, 6 home runs. As that is a barrel hit to right field, as that will be a bloop single for Vitterick, as that puts a runner now on first for the Bearcats. Nothing right fielder Tommy Harrison could do there. Bounced about 20 feet in front of him. So that brings up Loudon Brooks, the second baseman and 3-hole hitter, up to the plate. Brooks is 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts, as a bunt down the third baseline and a bobbled the ball by the third baseman Krupinski. So that is going to be a, depending, looks like they're going to rule that a hit. So another threatening situation here for Landon Folk, and RedHawks just not able to put this Bearcat squad away in this inning. So now Cal Sefcik comes up to the plate with men on first and second here with 2 outs. Landon Folk already up to 16 pitches here, but hoping to just get out of this against Sefcik, who's 1 for 3 today. Sefcik hitting a clean .333 on the season with 19 RBIs as he fouls that one off to the first base side to make the count 1-0. So 4 spots so far in the in the top of the 7th for the Bearcats. Certainly some time for the RedHawks, but some time, not a lot. Falk looks at the man on second before firing. That's a strike in there, strike 2. And Falk looks very determined to get out of this inning as unscathed as he can. Sefcik on the ropes here a little bit. Plays very close to the home plate here as his position in the batter's box. As he watches that one, that's a little high for ball 1. Falk watches, looks at the pitch. 1-2 count here as that is a screamer down the third base line, and that is fair ball. One runner's going to score, and it looks like they're going to send the second runner, and that will be a stand-up double for Cal Sefcik. And boy, this game is just getting away from Landon Falk here. An unfortunate situation. RedHawks come into this inning up 2-0. But a bases clearing double makes it 6-2 here in the top of the 7th. So Christian Mitchell up to the plate, but it looks like Larry Scully gonna have yet another meeting with his guy. Not sure if that necessarily means a pitching change, although there is certainly some folks, multiple people were warming up in the bullpen. Looks like it'll be Carson Byers. I couldn't tell who else it is, but somebody else warming up. Certainly don't want to have to burn Byers. But the nice thing about these midweek games is you can still have Byers around for your Saturday or Sunday game. So we'll step aside here for just a second, as not sure if it'll end up actually being a pitching change, but we'll step aside here. Well, welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. It is no pitching change. However, there is a lengthy discussion there and a change as far as base running goes. Derek Pitts, the freshman outfielder, will come in for Cal Sefcik. So, new runner, a little more speed with Christian Mitchell. Up to the plate for a first pitch strike for Falk. Falk not doing poorly as far as his ability to throw strikes. Never really was an issue for him. Never just got an unlucky call as far as the home run call, and kind of unravel from there as Mitchell almost gets hit by that pitch, and it's 1-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. 6-2 Bearcats, 6th spot here in the 7th for those of us just joining us, has put the Bearcats comfortably in the lead. And that is a weak ball hit to Evan Applewick, the first baseman, and it looks like they're going to get him out just barely. A great play there from Falk, receiving the ball, kind of an errant throw from Applewick, but nevertheless, finally able to end the inning for Landon Falk. A 6th spot in the 7th. Means there's work to do for the RedHawks here in the bottom of the 7th. We really appreciate you listening here, and we will be back after the 7th inning stretch. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. It is bottom of the 7th inning here for Rodney Schultz. He's given up 1 hit so far. Throws a first pitch ball to Tommy Harrison, who hits a chopper just foul over to the first base side. Schultz really turning up the heat there, 94. Comfortably sits 93 to 95. You certainly don't see a lot of that velocity in the Mid-American. Usually you see about 90. With Schultz, like I said, a very polished guy from Pittsburgh Johnstown. He throws that one in for a strike. Count is now 1-2 for the junior Tommy Harrison from Cleveland, Ohio. Tommy's 0 for 2 today, hitting 160 on the season with a home run and 9 RBIs, and that is a strike 3 looking. Harrison did not seem to agree with the caller. He certainly didn't understand it as he's walking to the dugout with his head held low, but regardless, it will be an out and brings up Blake Buzzio. So Blake Buzzio, not a bad day for him today. 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Only 1 home run on the season, 21 RBIs though, 275 as he takes a big swing and a miss at the first offering from Rodney Schultz of this at-bat. A strike. 95-mile-an-hour fastball on that one. Buzzio watches that one skip into the waiting arms of Klingenbeck for ball one. Called a strike on that one, although Klingenbeck wasn't even able to corral the ball. An interesting call. Nevertheless, Buzzio is now down 1-2 with one out here in the bottom of the seventh. As he barrels that one into left field. Drifting back is the left fielder, Cal Stefsik, or rather the sub, Derek Pitts, and he's able to make the play. So 2 outs here for the RedHawks, 7 outs left total to score 4 runs. Not impossible. I have seen crazier things here at McKie Field at Hayden Park, but nevertheless, certainly a tall task as Dylan Baker hopes to get them started. It's a 1-hole hitter with 2 outs. Schultz winds and fires, skips that one once again. He's really having trouble commanding his off speed, but his fastball has just been overpowering. And so the 1-0 count, 2 outs here. Hits have been mostly even for both teams. 7 for the Bearcats, 6 for the RedHawks as Baker watches that one in for a strike. It's just been a matter of when the hits have come for both teams. The most consequential obviously being the Carrington Cross 4-run grand slam shot to put the Bearcats up ahead, as that's a ball way over the head of Dylan Baker, and the redshirt senior from Tampa, Florida is in there 2-1 as he hits that one over to the left side, third base line, but foul. Makes the count now 2-2. Baker watches that one, and, well, Klingenbach thought it was strike 3, but home plate umpire Dorsey Hager said no. Klingenbeck, rather. They had multiple folks walking over to the dugout, so it is 3-2 for Baker, who watches that one in the dirt for ball 4. Really nice at bat for Baker, who looked dead in the water for a second there, but able to work it out from 2-2 to a walk. So that brings up Ty Batisic, who hopes to potentially get something going here with a runner on base and 2 outs. Left-handed Batisic versus the right-handed batting Schultz, as that ball, once again, skips into the dirt, into the turf rather, for ball 1. It's not rare you see many guys throw 94 at the D2 level, but that's where Schultz was before being recruited by Jordan Michelle, as that is a base hit down the line. Foul ball, just foul by Batisic over the third baseline, but would have been a double if it sliced a tad bit more fair, but regardless, makes the count 1-1 for Batisic. Winds and fires, and that ball's going to be a little outside for Batisic. The count now 2-1. Batisic with the second most hits on the team behind Anthony Zarlingo. That ball's outside as well, so it's 3-1 for the senior from Joliet, Illinois. Batisic 13 extra base hits, 30 RBIs. Only 6 strikeouts this season. That is a well-hit ball into the gap, but it looks like it will be caught, and it will be caught by the left fielder, Derek Pitts. And that will end the inning. So, after a 6-piece in the top half of the 7th, no more than a hit, basically, for the RedHawks, and so that means a 0 spot in the 7th. That brings us to the top of the 8th, where we will be back here in just a minute. Thank you so much for listening to baseball here on Red Hawk Radio. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. It is Carson Byers on the mound for the Red Hawks. Byers, the ace of the staff, the 2.56 ERA and 31 2/3 innings pitch. Always you can pretty much rely on him to throw strikes and throw a lot of them, as he's up against Tommy O'Connor, but of course right on cue throws a first pitch ball. Byers, like I said, just absolutely terrific for this Red Hawks squad. Was their ace last season, reliever of the year. First team All-MAC selection, had the lowest ERA on the team last year as he throws that one in for a strike. And something noticeable about him as the season has gone on is he has actually gained a little bit of velocity. Early in the season, he was sitting 86, 87. He just threw that one up at 90. So certainly a scary sight for MAC batters as he throws that one out for a ball. Count is now 2-1. Top of the 8th here, 6-2 for those of you just joining us. UC with a 6th spot in the 7th, as that is a pop-up hit over to the third base side. It looks like a great catch, or I can't tell. It doesn't. Nope, it was a drop, unfortunately. Almost a catch, but running into the wall was the third baseman, Krupinski. Are they saying he caught it? Looks like, yes, it appears as though it was a drop. So, it'll just be a foul ball, no out. They ruled it an out for, they had an out on the scoreboard for a second, which is confusion, but we're good now. So it's a strike on the board rather than an out. So, Tommy O'Connor, who is 0 for 2 today, with a walk and a strikeout. With a 2-2 count now. Byers hoping to make quick work of this Bearcats lineup here in the 8th. And he gets the strike 3. Wonderful placement there from Byers. Wasn't particularly devastating as far as the movement on it, but he got him to sit there and stare at it as it just clipped the outside corner of the strike zone. So one down rather for Byers, as Charlie Niehaus, the shortstop, comes up to the plate. Niehaus hitting a little over 300 this season with 16 runs, 15 RBIs, as he drops a first pitch bunt, but that ball skips past the catcher and ends up back into the netting for a first pitch strike. Niehaus taking his time getting back into the box. Takes a quick check swing before getting himself set. Byers starts with a little bit of a rocking motion before getting set and fires it kind of at shin level, but little inside, so evens the count here at 1-1. Niehaus 0 for 2 today. And on deck is Corey Klagenbeck, the catcher. Starting to work towards the end of the lineup here, as he takes that ball for a ball. Byers fires, and that is a strike. Just clipped the bottom part of the strike zone there. So 2-2 on a very beautiful off-speed pitch. Niehaus looked at the home plate umpire a little puzzled, but nevertheless the call will stand. Byers deals, and that is a swing and a miss. A wonderful off-speed pitch, almost exact same spot. Niehaus had no answer. And so that's 2 down, 2 strikeouts now for Carson Byers, who is making quick work of this Bearcats lineup. And so that now brings up Corey Klagenbeck, the catcher, who is 1 for 2 today with a walk. 3 home runs on the season, 8 runs, 7 RBIs for the senior. Byers throws that one, skips it a little bit for a ball. Klingenbeck previously spent time at Walters State Community College. Didn't really play a whole lot last year. Finally starting to get a little bit of run from Jordan Bichelle as a senior as he watches that one in for a strike. Even the count. Spires fires that one in for a beautiful strike just on the outside part of the plate. Count quickly 1-2. That's kind of what Byers does. He just fills the strike zone up, but always manages to just clip it. Byers with his signature rocking motion. Winds up and deals. Nice try to frame it there from David Novak, but not quite able to frame it. So 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 outs here for the RedHawks. 6-2 ball game here, top of the 8th. As Byers throws that one in, now is full. After quickly being ahead 1-2, it is now full count here. Byers looking to put this Bearcat roster down in order, and that is strike 3 looking. Another strikeout looking, and that is 3 up, 3 down for the ace of this staff, Carson Byers. A wonderful inning, 3 strikeouts, and able to preserve the 4-run deficit, not allowing the Bearcats to extend it any further. So 6-2 is the score with the final 6 outs of the game here for the RedHawks. We will be right back here in just a minute. Thank you so much for listening to us here, to Miami Baseball here on Red Hawk Radio. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. We have a new pitcher here. It is Joel Pinheiro, the right-hander. Up against Evan Applewick, the Pinheiro redshirt junior, transfer from Florida International. I can imagine that the weather's probably a little bit better in Miami, Florida, rather than Miami of Ohio right now, but regardless, he is pitching very well this season. He throws a first pitch ball, actually throws a second pitch in the dirt as well. So the count is now 2-0. Pinheiro, 6'1", 202, the right-hander from the Miami, Florida area. He's pitched 9 games this season to a 4.3 ERA in 23 innings pitched, starting 3 games. Fires that one in for a strike. Sits low 90s. That one was about 90 miles an hour, and not going to overwhelm you with devastating velocity, but certainly nothing to sneeze at. Applewick watches that one skip into the turf as well. So it's 3-1 here. And this is certainly the heart of the lineup as far as the people you'd want to start an offensive rally. You have 3, 4, and 5 are your first 3 hitters today, with Zarlingo on deck as that ball is chopped foul over the third base side. Applewick readjusting his batting gloves as he attempts to make something happen at this full count. Applewick fouls that one off, rather. First base side this time. Applewick pops that one up. Once again, foul ball. Really strong at bat, though, against a pretty strong pitcher in Pinheiro. Definitely one of the better pitchers for this Bearcats squad, who started a few games, 18 strikeouts, 8 walks. Was really good with Florida International, pitched 57 2/3 innings, as that is a ball chopped. Foul over third base side. I mean, this is a long at-bat Applewick's putting together, and obviously you want runners, but it's an impressive at-bat regardless that he's been able to stick in there. But Pinheiro was a Saturday starter for Florida International last year, as that is a chopper hit, or not chopper, rather, a line drive hit right into the gap, left center field, and that is a base hit for Applewick. So a really nice job, a beautiful at-bat. That is about as textbook of an at-bat as you can ask. Just stay in there, foul off until you find your pitch. And finally able to find it and drill it and able to get on base. And that's what this team needs, is base runners at the moment, and they're finally getting one. So that brings up Anthony Zarlingo, who is 0 for 2 today with a walk, hitting just under 400 with 2 home runs, 18 RBIs, and 27 runs. And certainly somebody, obviously you want as many base runners as possible, but he's certainly somebody you want on the base pass with his team-leading 6 steals as he took that first pitch for a strike. And he hits that one, flares that into left field, and that's going to be caught for the first out of the inning by the left fielder Derek Pitts. So with 1 down now, final 5 outs of the game here for the RedHawks, they need to find 4 runs. So now David Novak, who's had himself a great game today, is 2 for 2 with a walk. And then after him on deck is Krupinski, who's 1 for 3 as well. So certainly some offense up to the dish as he barrels that one deep to left field. That looks like it will be gone! David Novak with a 2-run bomb over to the left field wall and into the dorms almost, and that is a wonderful shot there from David Novak. His 8th of the year as he trots around third base, heading home. And that makes it 6-4 and some life for this RedHawks squad. Now with down to their final 5 outs, finally down 2 runs. And it looks like Jordan Bichelle is going to have a quick word and maybe a pitching change here with Joe Pinheiro. We will step aside here for just a minute as we determine whether it's a pitching change or something else. And it looks like it will be a pitching change. So we'll be right back here on Red Hawk Radio. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. Dominic Krupinski up to the plate against the new pitcher. It is Brandon Schurer. That is a mouthful to say. But Schurer is a right-handed pitcher slash utility man who throws at 92, 93 for his fastball as he throws that first two pitches in for a ball against the third baseman Krupinski, who's 1 for 3 today. Krupinski hoping to potentially dig into this lead even further as he watches that pitch in for the first strike of the at-bat. But Schurer is only 2 games started, but pitched 15 innings with a 4.2 ERA, 13 strikeouts, only 2 walks. So certainly control is a big element of his game as he evens the count at 2-2. Comes from a long line of athletes. Actually previously pitched at Saginaw State University, but his dad played baseball at Central Michigan, and his mom was a gymnast at Central Michigan. And as Krupinski hits that one into left field, but it is caught. Nice running grab by Derek Pitts. Now that a final 4 outs of the game here for the RedHawks to make something happen. Like I was saying, Brandon Schurer comes from a long line of athletes. I mean, his sister plays softball at Northwood University, and his sister Addison played at Lansing Community College as well. So much athleticism in the Michigan area for the Schurer family. As that brings up Ryan Novak to the plate, who watches that first pitch skip off home plate for a ball. Two outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning for the RedHawks. Just hoping to add even more as that's a pop-up hit to right field. And Landon Vitterick makes the catch. So that will end the inning. Well, a 2-run shot from David Novak closes the gap by 2. But regardless, the score is still 6-4. So we'll be right back here on Red Hawk Radio. We really appreciate you listening to Miami Baseball here at McKie Field at Hayden Park. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. We have a new pitcher in against the 9-hole hitter Donovan Ford, who so far is 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. It's Ahmad Harajli, who has about as much velocity as anybody on this team, certainly, but has also struggled mightily in his limited appearances with a Right on cue, a first pitch single for Donovan Ford, just past the outstretched arms of the third baseman, Dominic Krupinski. So that starts the inning out with one runner aboard. And Carrington Cross, the leadoff hitter, up to the plate. Cross with the monstrous the grand slam rather, to give the Bearcats a 4-2 lead in the top of the 7th inning as Harajli quickly fires in a first pitch strike. But Harajli throws at 94-95. He's a Michigan transfer, IMG Academy, along with Evan Applewick. But 21.6 ERA on the season. He's just really struggled to find his groove so far as he throws that one in the turf for a ball. Ford can steal some bases, although he has been picked off a lot. He is 5 of 9 on the season. Has some athleticism, certainly, as evidenced by his presence in center field. That's a really nice pitch. Fastball just on the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Rajli fires that one way past the batter, and Novak almost gets the runner going to second on a wild pitch, but not quite able to. Ford barely able to scoot underneath. Not a great jump from Ford, who didn't really have a good read on it, but regardless, he was able to make it to second. It was also a fortuitous bounce as well off the padding of the wall for Novak, who was able to kind of barehand it. His hesitation, though, just kind of made it impossible for that play to happen on time. So 2-2 is the count against the leadoff man, Carrington Cross, who is 1 for 4 today, obviously with his 4 home runs, or 4 RBIs rather, and that is a big-time pop-up, but shallow left field. Coming in is the left fielder. That is Ryan Novak, who's able to make the play and get the first out of the inning. Cincinnati at this point really just hoping to tack on some insurance run, up 6-4 in the top of the 9th here. Both teams with 8 hits, no errors. But the scoreboard, a difference of 2. Weather-wise, hasn't been all that bad here, especially given it's almost 6 p.m. here at McKie Field at Hayden Park. Wind isn't blowing too hard, which has made it certainly much more reasonable, as Harajli throws that first pitch in for a ball. The right-hander up against the left-handed hitting Landon Vanderick. Throws that second pitch in for a strike to even the count at 1-1. And Vanderick 1 for 4 today with 2 strikeouts and 6 home runs, 26 RBIs for the left-hander. Harajli missed most of last season with an arm injury, and that ball also gets away from Novak. That is a strike, because that was a swing, it appears, from Federic. A little bit of confusion on the play. Novak wasn't quite sure. I think he thought maybe it was a foul tip, so he kind of just let it scoot by him. But regardless, that means Ford is now on third base. Now it'll be a quick meeting between Novak and Harajli. And Novak's going to settle behind the plate after a brief word with his guy. A 1-2 count, 1 out. Hoping to avoid a third wild pitch. Only 1 wild pitch coming into this game for Harajli, so certainly a little uncharacteristic, and he gets a swing and a miss. Really great job there. Nice fastball, 96 on that one. Goodness, for Landon Viderick, it just had no shot. Way behind on that one, so Loudon Brooks will be the man up to bat with Derek Pitts on deck if it comes to that with 2 outs here. Loudon Brooks Watches that first pitch for a ball, a little outside, into the left-handed batter's box. Brooks hitting .211 this season. 1 for 3 today, though, with a couple strikeouts, like I said. And so, with a man on third, has a chance to tack on an insurance run. And a lot of Miami fans certainly not happy about the call that just happened there. It looked to be a strike pretty clearly down the pipe, but the home plate umpire, Dorsey Hager, said otherwise. So it'll be 2-0 is the count for Cincinnati. Make that 3-0 now for Lawton Brooks. Home plate umpire Dorsey Hager has certainly heard quite a bit of chatter from this Miami fan base today. He's done a good job under some composure, though, with Ford looking like he wanted to sprint down to home for a second, kind of trying to time it up. Potential hit and run there, but no swing. Lawton Brooks does not move it off the bat off his shoulders and watches that pitch go down for a strike, so it is 3-1. That's a foul tip, or not foul tip, a foul ball rather, over to the first base side. So that quickly makes the count now 3-2. And a chance for Harajli to get out of this inning unscathed. Harajli sees the pitch. Man on third base. Oh, and he got him looking. Lawton Brooks certainly thought he had a free 90 feet, but nevertheless, it was not the case. And so, crunch time here for head coach Brian Smiley and his squad. So we'll head to the bottom of the ninth inning with the RedHawks down 2 against the Cincinnati Bearcats in a battle of the victory bell for, some bragging rights certainly. So we'll be right back here on Red Hawk Radio. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio. We have a new batter in. Same pitcher, though, for the Bearcats. It's Brandon Schuer who throws that first pitch for a strike. It's Justin Gorski, the pinch hitter here for Tommy Harrison, who takes that second pitch now for a strike, and he's quickly down 0-2. Gorski, a sophomore left-hander, like 5'8", 170 pounds, hitting .211 on the season, and he hits that one foul over to the third base side. Still 0-2. Has a home run this season, 4 total bases, 4 walks, OPS of about 550. Certainly more of a defensive replacement, though. I tried to work him in some, as that one's outside for sure. Count is 1-2 here. 6-4 is the score. RedHawks down to the Cincinnati Bearcats. Earlier this season, these two teams played 12-3 in Clifton was the score. Bearcats came out on top with a generous ball called there. 93-mile-an-hour fastball down the pipe, but certainly was not agreeable to Dorsey Hager. Now sure. They working that clock, and it's a chopper, a hit to the pitcher. Really nice hustle there, but not going to be enough for Gorski's. That's one out. A really nice athletic play for sure. Able to just pick up the chopper and able to get the easy out. So down to the final 2 outs of the RedHawks with Blake Buzzio and Dylan Baker on deck. Buzzio 1 for 3 today. Buzzio also has a strikeout, hitting .272 this season. 20 runs, hoping to get his 21st here and potentially cause some havoc as he watches that first pitch well outside for a ball. A lot of chirping from the RedHawks dugout, trying to encourage his team, and looked like a check swing from Buzzio, but Dorsey Hager checked with the first base umpire, David Blanchett, who signaled it was not a swing through. So 2-0 is the count. And that is a ball well outside. So 3-0 now. A chance potentially for the tying runner to potentially be at the plate, as that is a 4-pitch walk. So Buzzio able to work a walk. Leadoff hitter now, Dylan Baker up to the plate, who's 0 for 2 today, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Hitting .313 on the season, though, so this is certainly the part of the lineup you want in this situation, because after Baker, it's Batisic, Applewick, Zarlingo. You certainly hope you can get to those batters. The final 2 outs here for the RedHawks. The right-hander Dylan Baker against the right-hander Brandon Schubert. And a nice off-speed pitch falls right in for a strike. Makes the count 0-1 early against the redshirt senior from Tampa, Florida. And that is a chopper hit to the shortstop, Charlie Niehaus. Gonna have to be a tough play. Makes it, though, able to get Baker. So now RedHawks down to their final out. The man on second base, and one of the most prolific power hitters on this roster, Ty Batisic, up to the plate. Tied for third with 6 home runs, seven doubles as well. So certainly some extra base hit power in a lefty versus righty matchup. Certainly also very favorable for Batisic here. Just a reminder, 6-4 is our score. As Batisic watches that first pitch in for a ball. 95 on that for sure. Certainly the adrenaline starting to kick in for him as he looks to close this and cap off a really great outing for him potentially. As he watches that one. Batisic watches that one in for a ball, a little outside on that one. That ball high. 3-0 count again. That is how Blake Buzzio was able to make it on base. It's a 4-pitch walk, so sure, certainly trending that way as he winds and fires. Throws that one into the turf. And now the winning run is at the plate with Evan Applewick, the power hitter, up to bat. And it looks like there will be a pinch hitter now for the RedHawks. It looks like it'll be Drew Phillips, the freshman, who's been used it a few times in pinch hitting situations coming in for Batisic. And you certainly don't mind the acquisition, or you don't mind the substitution, rather. And it looks like might be a little bit of a meeting or a pitching change, rather. Yeah, it looks like Taylor Sheriff, the pitching coach for the Cincinnati Bearcats, has decided that he wants to either really go over his plan or find somebody else to get this final out. So we'll step aside here for just a second as they discuss. It's 6-4 here. Bearcats winning, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Well, here you go, folks. This is the situation that a lot of these guys certainly you go to bed dreaming of. You got 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. 2 runners on first and second. Brendan Schuer is still in the game. He throws that first pitch outside. But Applewick, one of the premier power hitters in the Mid-American Conference this season, 13 home runs, watches that pitch in for a strike. Count is now 1-1. Applewick 1 for 4 today, hitting .346 this season. As that is a ball down and away. Count is now 2-1. Sure, really having a tough time of it command-wise. A lot of fight from this RedHawks squad, even if they can't pull it off. Certainly admirable as they watch that pitch out for a ball. So the count is now 3-1 for the RedHawks. And that is a 5-pitch walk. Bases now loaded, 2 outs, and that brings up Anthony Zarlingo, the best contact hitter on this team, for a potential chance to be a hero. The senior from Olive Branch, Mississippi, has himself the situation that you certainly dream of. Bases loaded, 2 outs, down 2 runs. And now Corey Klingenbeck going to take a minute, as is Jordan Bichelle, and it looks like they will have somebody else come in, as that is the second meeting. So we will step aside here for just a second once again, as it looks to be a pitching change here. We'll be back here in just a minute. Welcome back to Red Hawk Radio, and we spoke about this a little bit, but the two-way Shohei Ohtani of the Cincinnati Ball Club here, Christian Michel, is pitching for the Bearcats here. 8.10 ERA as he throws that first pitch for a ball. He was just in the game at third base, but now taking over for him at third base is Carrington Cross, the DH. Zarlingo watches that one go for a strike. Yeah, Michel hasn't pitched a ton, only 3 1/3 innings. 4 games pitched, 8.10 ERA, like I said. And Zarlingo fouls that one back, so now down to his final pitch with the count 1-2 for the RedHawks. Zarlingo, 18 RBIs this season, hoping to add a couple more to his total. Infielders playing very deep, just trying to cut it off. And that ball is hit up the middle. And a flip to Charlie Niehaus, the shortstop, and that is the ball game. Well, an admirable effort, bases loaded with 2 outs for the RedHawks, but not quite able to make it happen as 6-4 is the final. Cincinnati Bearcats beat the Miami RedHawks. We really appreciate you listening to Miami Radio here, the Red Hawk Radio, and you know we don't take your listenership for granted, and we really appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon and this evening. We'll have a very great rest of your day and a great rest of your week, and we will be back here later this week, hopefully for some great Mid-American Conference baseball. Thank you so much. I am Sean Wiesemann, and we really enjoyed this presentation of Red Hawk Radio.